Is this really the best you could do with your life? The words carry across the school parking lot. Morning drop-off. 7:45 a.m. Parents unloading children. Bus engines idling. Donovan Hale sits behind the wheel of bus 14. Yellow paint faded, seats patched with duct tape. He's been driving this route for 9 years. The parent who spoke, Carter Whitlock, real estate developer, luxury SUV, designer everything, stands beside the bus door, smirking, his son already inside. I mean, look at you, Carter continues, loud enough for others to hear. 60 years old, driving a school bus. No offense, but that's just sad. Donovan's hands rest on the steering wheel, 10 and 2. His expression doesn't change. None taken, he says quietly. You ever want more, or is this it? This is enough. Carter laughs, sharp, performative. That's exactly the problem with people like you. No ambition, no drive, just existing. Other parents glance over, some uncomfortable, some nodding agreement. Donovan starts the engine. I need to stay on schedule. Of course you do. Wouldn't want to break any rules. Carter steps back. Have a great day driving in circles, Donovan. He walks to his SUV, drives away. Donovan closes the bus doors, checks his mirrors, pulls out of the parking lot. In the rearview mirror, 42 children, ages 5 to 11, some talking, some quiet, all trusting him to get them home safely. He's done this route 6,300 times, give or take, never late, never an accident, never a complaint from a child. But to people like Carter, he's invisible, forgettable, just the bus driver. Donovan doesn't mind. He stopped needing validation a long time ago. But somewhere across town, a news producer is reviewing footage for tomorrow's broadcast. A human interest story, a local hero being honored, and buried in that footage is a face the producer recognizes. A face that shouldn't be driving a school bus. A face that once saved her life. 12 hours earlier, Donovan had started his morning at 5 a.m., same as always. Coffee, toast, check the weather, review his route. His apartment was small, 1 bedroom, clean, sparse. Photos on the wall, his late wife Margaret, their daughter Julia at various ages. A few landscapes, nothing else. Margaret had died 8 years ago. Cancer, fast and brutal. Julia lived in Oregon now, married, 2 kids, called every Sunday. Donovan lived alone, worked his route, came home, repeated. It was enough. He'd arrived at the bus depot at 6:15. Pre-trip inspection, check tires, lights, brakes, emergency exits, fill out the log, start the engine. By 7, he was on Route 14. 47 stops, suburban neighborhoods, middle-class families. The kind of place where everyone knew everyone, but no one really saw anyone. The children had climbed aboard, chattering, arguing over seats. A few saying, "Hi, Mr. Hale." He'd greeted each one by name, knew their siblings, their schedules, which ones needed extra patience on Monday mornings. By 8, they were at school. Smooth drop-off, no issues. Then Carter's comment, the mockery, the assumption. Donovan had driven away without reacting. Because what would be the point? People saw what they wanted to see. Now, the news crew arrives at the school at 3 p.m., local station, human interest segment. They're filming a piece about Mrs. Pamela Quincy, the school librarian being honored for 30 years of service. Producer Ashley Brennan stands behind the camera operator, 41 years old, sharp, competent. She's produced hundreds of these segments, but something catches her eye. A school bus pulling into the lot. Number 14, driver visible through the windshield. Ashley freezes. She knows that face. She grabs her phone, pulls up photos. Old ones, from 17 years ago, scrolls, finds it. A newspaper clipping, saved as a screenshot. Local paramedic saves woman from burning vehicle. The photo shows a younger man, uniform, calm expression, standing beside an ambulance. Ashley zooms in on the face. It's him, the bus driver. Her chest tightens, memories flooding back. 17 years ago. She'd been 24, new reporter, first real job, driving home late from a story. She'd been exhausted, distracted, drifted into the oncoming lane. The collision had been instant. Her car had spun, hit a guardrail, flipped. She'd woken upside down, seatbelt cutting into her shoulder, smoke filling the cabin, the smell of gasoline. She'd tried to move, couldn't. The door was jammed, the window shattered but too small to crawl through. Then she'd heard the voice, calm, authoritative. "Stay still, I'm getting you out." Hands working on the door, metal scraping, the seatbelt releasing, arms pulling her through the window, carrying her away from the car. 30 seconds later, the car had ignited, flames consuming everything. The paramedic, Donovan Hale, she'd learned later, had treated her injuries, stayed with her until the ambulance arrived, visited her in the hospital once. She'd thanked him, tried to stay in touch, but he'd been quiet, humble, declined interviews, said he was just doing his job. She'd lost track of him, moved on with her career. And now, he's here, driving a school bus. Ashley approaches the bus as children file out. Donovan is helping a small girl with a backpack. "Mr. Hale?" He looks up, doesn't recognize her immediately. "Yes? I'm Ashley Brennan. I produce for Channel 7 News." "Okay. I think we've met before." Donovan studies her face. Then his expression shifts, recognition. "The car accident, 17 years ago." Ashley's throat tightens. "Yes. You recovered okay?" "Because of you." Donovan nods once. "I'm glad." "What are you doing driving a school bus?" The question hangs in the air, not accusatory, just confused. Donovan closes the bus door. "It's my job." "But you were a paramedic. You saved lives." "Still do, just differently." "I don't understand." Donovan looks at her, gray eyes, patient. "Is there something I can help you with?" Ashley hesitates. "Can I interview you for a story?" "About what?" "About you, your past, what you're doing now." "I'm not interesting." "You saved my life. That's interesting." Donovan's expression softens slightly. "I appreciate the thought, but I'm just a bus driver. There's no story here." He climbs back into the bus, starts the engine. Ashley stands in the parking lot, watching him drive away. She pulls out her phone, makes a call. 23 years earlier, Donovan had been 37 years old. Paramedic. 12 years on the job. Worked for the county. Saw everything. Trauma, heart attacks, overdoses, births in ambulances. He'd been good at it, calm under pressure, compassionate, technically skilled. Margaret had been proud. Julia, 14 at the time, had thought her dad was a hero. Then came the call that changed everything. Multi-vehicle accident, highway, rush hour, 6 cars involved. Donovan's ambulance had been first on scene. He'd triaged quickly, 3 critical, 4 moderate, 2 minor. He'd started with the worst case. Young man, 20s, massive internal bleeding. Donovan had worked on him for 18 minutes. Chest compressions, airway management, IV fluids. The man had died anyway. Donovan had moved to the next patient, woman, 40s, head trauma. He'd stabilized her, loaded her into the ambulance. She'd survived. But as they'd pulled away, Donovan had glanced back, seen a small car, crumpled, smoking, movement inside, a child's face, 7 years old, trapped. Donovan had stopped the ambulance, told his partner to continue to the hospital. He'd run back, pulled the child from the car. Seconds before it caught fire, the child had been fine, minor injuries, scared but alive. Donovan had been written up for leaving his patient, for breaking protocol. "You can't abandon a patient in the ambulance," his supervisor had said, "even for another victim. There was a child, and there was a woman with a brain bleed in your ambulance. You're lucky she survived. I'd do it again. Then you're in the wrong profession." The write-up had stayed on his record. He'd been passed over for promotion, again and again. He'd started questioning the system, the rules, the metrics that valued protocol over instinct. 2 years later, Margaret had gotten sick. Donovan had taken leave, spent every moment with her. Doctors, treatments, hope fading with each scan. When she'd died, something in him had broken, not dramatically, just quietly. He'd returned to work, but the urgency was gone, the fire. He'd gone through the motions, competent but distant. At 51, he'd taken early retirement, pension barely enough to survive. He'd needed work, something simple, something that didn't require him to hold someone's life in his hands. He'd seen the posting for a school bus driver, applied, got hired. For 9 years, he'd driven. Children, kept them safe, got them home. It was enough. 3 days later, Ashley hasn't stopped thinking about Donovan. She's done research, found old articles, accident reports, commendations, a career full of saves, and then nothing. Just a quiet retirement, a bus route. She pitches the story to her editor. Local paramedic turned bus driver. I think there's something here. What's the angle? Humility, service. The idea that heroism doesn't always look like what we expect. Is he willing to be interviewed? Not yet, but I think I can convince him. You have 3 days. If you can't get the interview, we move on. Ashley drives to the school, waits in the parking lot, sees bus 14 pull in. She approaches as Donovan opens the doors. Mr. Hale, can I buy you coffee? He looks at her, patient. Ms. Brennan, I told you, I know, you're not interesting, but I think you're wrong, and I think your story matters. Why? Because people need to remember that heroism isn't about glory. It's about showing up, every day, doing what needs to be done. You did that as a paramedic. You're doing it now. Donovan is quiet. Please, Ashley says. One conversation. If you still don't want to do the story, I'll drop it. Donovan considers this, then nods. One conversation. They sit in a small diner. Coffee, quiet booth. Ashley sets her recorder on the table. Can I record this? If you need to. She hits record. Tell me why you left paramedicine. Donovan stirs his coffee. I didn't leave. I retired. At 51, that's young. It felt old. What happened? Donovan is quiet for a long time. Then, I lost my wife, and I realized I'd spent 23 years trying to save strangers, but I couldn't save her. Couldn't save my marriage from the distance the job created. Couldn't save myself from becoming someone who only knew how to function in crisis. His voice is steady, but the pain is there, underneath. So you walked away. So I found something simpler. Driving a bus isn't simple. It is compared to holding someone's life in your hands. Ashley leans forward. But you still are. Those children trust you. Their parents trust you. You're responsible for 42 lives every day. Donovan looks at her. It's different. How? Because if I make a mistake, it's mechanical, procedural, not medical, not life or death in the same way. You don't think keeping children safe is life or death? Donovan doesn't answer. Ashley reaches across the table, touches his hand briefly. You saved my life. You probably don't remember the details. It was one call among thousands, but for me, it was everything. You pulled me from a burning car. You stayed calm when I was panicking. You made me believe I'd be okay. Donovan's eyes redden slightly. I remember. Then tell me why you think that doesn't matter anymore. I didn't say it doesn't matter, but you act like it doesn't, like driving a bus is beneath you, like you're hiding. Donovan's jaw tightens. I'm not hiding, I'm surviving. The words land heavy. Ashley nods. Okay, then let me tell your story. Not as a hero piece, just as truth. A man who served, who lost, who found a different way to keep going. Donovan stares at his coffee, silent, then, if I do this, I have one condition. What? You don't make me out to be special. I'm not. I'm just someone who showed up, that's all. Ashley smiles. Deal. The interview. They film at the bus depot. Early morning. Donovan in his uniform. Bus behind him. Ashley asks questions. Donovan answers. Simply, honestly. Why did you become a paramedic? I wanted to help people. And now? I still do, just differently. Do you miss it? Donovan pauses. Sometimes, but I don't regret leaving. What do you want people to know about you? That I'm no different than anyone else. We all serve in different ways. Mine just happens to be driving a bus. The interview lasts 20 minutes. Ashley thanks him, promises to send him the segment before it airs. 5 days later, the segment airs during the evening news. 6 p.m. Local broadcast, Hidden Hero. The bus driver who saved lives. It opens with footage of Donovan driving his route, then cuts to Ashley's voiceover. Every day, Donovan Hale drives bus 14, 47 stops, 42 children, a routine most of us never think about. But 17 years ago, Donovan Hale saved my life. Cut to the car accident photos, the newspaper clipping. He was a paramedic for 23 years, hundreds of saves, countless lives protected. Then he quietly retired and became a school bus driver. Cut to the interview, Donovan's calm voice, his humility. I'm just someone who showed up. Ashley's voiceover continues. But showing up is everything, in crisis, in routine, in the small moments that don't make headlines. The segment ends with Donovan helping a child off the bus, waving as they run to their parents. Ashley's final words. Heroism isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, consistent. The choice to serve, no matter the title, no matter the recognition. Donovan Hale is a reminder that every role matters. Every person who shows up with integrity and care is making a difference, even if no one's watching. Fade to black. The next morning, Donovan arrives at the depot. Other drivers are waiting. They applaud. He stops, confused. We saw the segment, one driver says. That was incredible. It was just a story. It was your story, and it mattered. At the school, parents are waiting, not mocking this time, respectful. Several approach. Mr. Hale, we had no idea. There was nothing to know. We're sorry for not seeing you. Donovan nods. It's okay. Carter Whitlock appears, uncomfortable, sheepish. Mr. Hale, I owe you an apology. What I said last week was out of line. Donovan studies him. It's fine. It's not. I judged you, dismissed you. I was wrong. You didn't know. That's not an excuse. Donovan extends his hand. Apology. Accepted. They shake. Carter walks away. Humbled. 2 months later, the school district creates an award, the Donovan Hale Excellence in Service Award, for staff who demonstrate quiet dedication. Donovan attends the ceremony. Uncomfortable. He tries to decline the honor. You started this, the superintendent says. You reminded us that every person in this building matters. Custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, you're all essential. Donovan nods, accepts the recognition, gives it to the custodian who's worked there for 30 years. Afterward, Ashley finds him. How do you feel? Tired, he says honestly. I just want to go back to driving my route. You can, but people see you now, really see you. I didn't ask for that? I know, but maybe you needed it anyway. Donovan looks at her. Maybe. 1 year later, Donovan still drives bus 14, same route, same children, same routine. But something's different. Parents wave, say thank you. Know his name. Children ask him questions about his past, about being a paramedic. He answers honestly, simply. One afternoon, a little girl, 7 years old, nervous energy, approaches as he's closing the bus. Mr. Hale? Yes? My dad says you're a hero. Donovan crouches down. Your dad is kind, but I'm just a bus driver. But you saved people. I tried to help people. There's a difference. What's the difference? Donovan thinks. Helping is something everyone can do. Being a hero is something people call you later. I just showed up, did my job, that's all. The girl nods seriously. I want to show up like you. Donovan smiles. Then you will, every day. Just show up, be kind, do your best. That's all anyone can ask. She hugs him quickly, runs to her parent. Donovan watches her go, climbs into the bus, starts the engine, drives home through the city. Lights turning on as dust settles, the world continuing. And somewhere in that continuation, Donovan Hale, former paramedic, current bus driver, quiet man with a loud legacy, feels something he hasn't felt in years. Peace. Not because he was recognized, not because people finally saw him, but because he realized what he'd been doing all along mattered. Every child delivered safely, every morning greeting, every patient he'd ever helped. All of it mattered, title or no title, recognition or silence. Showing up was enough. Value isn't determined by status, title, or public recognition. It's determined by consistency, integrity, and the choice to serve wherever you are. We live in a world obsessed with climbing, achieving, impressing. We measure worth by salary and rank and visibility. But real impact often happens in the margins, in the quiet work no one sees, in the unglamorous roles that keep everything running, The person driving the bus, cleaning the floors, answering the phones, they're not less important because their work isn't celebrated. They're essential because their work makes everything else possible. Heroism isn't always dramatic rescues. Sometimes it's showing up every single day with care and competence, treating every task with dignity, protecting people in ways they'll never know. Don't dismiss the quiet ones. Don't overlook the people doing essential work without fanfare. They're often carrying more strength, more experience, more character than anyone realizes. See them, respect them. Because the measure of a person isn't their title, it's their contribution. And contribution comes in countless forms. If you believe every person's work has value, regardless of status or recognition, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment sharing which moment hit you hardest: Donovan's humility, Ashley's persistence, or Carter's apology. Like this video if you've ever been underestimated because of your job. Tell me where you're watching from. And remember, the person you overlooked today might be the one who once saved lives, built something extraordinary, or carries more wisdom than you'll ever know. Treat everyone with dignity. Every job matters. Every person deserves respect. That's how we build a world worth living in.